In the news today, Great Bear Resources, that's GBR on the Venture Exchange, they have some new gold intercepts at the Dixie Lake Project. They also expand some land holdings. I've got with me now the president and CEO, Chris Taylor. Hey, Chris, appreciate the update as always here. Looks like you got some news to run through here, some drill results, and you expanded some land package here. Why don't you go ahead and run us through this?
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, I thought we'd provide a little bit of commentary. So the step-out drilling that we keep doing on the project, it's gone really well for us. So recently, if you think about Red Lake in context, usually companies are afraid to step out more than 15, 20, occasionally 30 meters, 25, 30 meters away from the areas that they're already drilling. We've stepped out in the past 600 meters, 700 meters and hit more gold and hit more gold. This time, we stepped out along the axis of this big D2 fold, which seems to be a big gold control, and we hit more high-grade gold about 150 meters away from where we were drilling before, which is phenomenal. I think it's so rare to be able to do that in Red Lake. So we hit more high-grade gold right near surface, which is exactly what we would hope to see. It actually was very much what we were hoping to see, but it exceeded our expectations. And then we stepped out another 400 meters past that. We're hitting more gold veins. So it looks to us like that thesis we have about the D2 fold axis being an important gold control is correct. So we'll continue to do that kind of step out drilling. And ultimately, the other drill rig that we have keeps drilling in the Hinge Zone, which is the high grade gold discovery we made last year that the market is most interested in. So there'll be more numbers coming in the near term with that as well. And from my understanding, that drilling continues to go extremely well. So we're very happy with that. So in the meantime, today, we also announced that we've had our eye on some on-strike extensions of some of the main structures that we've been looking at and that others are mining in the district. And we're not the kind of group that wants to go in and generally be accumulating assets, but the opportunity arose, some projects became available that have been tied up for decades. Right, so those became available. We decided to pick them up cheaply with the prospector that we've been working at, the same guy that we bought the Dixie property from. And then we noticed on some of the data, there was unpublished data showing that we had very interesting discoveries already on place in a couple of these projects. So one of them called the DD property just west of Dixie looks like it has a continuation off the same D2 fold axis that we've been drilling at Dixie, which now we've drilled more gold on and keeps extending the strike of the gold system. So that one has folded greenstone belts along strike. It has historical drill core with these sulfides in it, which are very similar in description to what we've drilled with gold in them at the Dixie limb, at the Dixie Project. And it's also got conductive horizons, which is exactly the same method, these EM methods that Teck Resources used to make the original discovery at Dixie. This new project has those on them as well. So it's road accessible. It's right beside where we currently are. And it looks like it has the opportunity to maybe have very short term, very near term, exciting new discoveries on it. So for us, when you can pick up a project cheaply, it may not be what the market or anybody else was looking for, but these are opportunities you just can't say no to because the potential benefits for shareholders could be extremely high. And ultimately, if we decide downstream, if these are not going to be the focus of additional attention for Great Bear, there's been this massive staking rush in the district. Like the claimed area has risen from about 100,000 hectares to over 250,000 hectares since we made the discovery last year. It's 150% bigger. So being able to pick up these projects, if we decide that we're not the guys that are going to be devoting our time onto working on them, it gives us JV opportunities, option opportunities where we can accumulate share positions in other junior companies. We can potentially generate things like royalties, and we can potentially generate interest in these projects that are advancing that we're not on the hook for, that our shareholders are not on the hook for. So I think in that sense, there's definitely growth, long-term growth opportunities with having picked up some of those projects. I think long-term, it's going to work out very well for Great Bear.
Then next steps from here, drills turning.
Well, we're drilling now with 2 rigs steady. So one rig continues to hammer at the gold zones that we know about, the Dixie Hinge Zone and the Dixie Limb Zone, and the other rig is testing new regional gold projects across the property.
Okay, Chris Taylor, President, CEO, Great Bear Resources, GBR on the Venture Exchange. Chris, appreciate the update and look forward to catching up to you when you get those drill results.
Thanks, Rob. We'll talk to you later.